I want to give you a brief introduction to the Storeminator product comparison plugin for WordPress to show you what it can do and briefly how it does it and what it looks like behind the scenes. And this will help you both familiarize yourself if you've already bought the plugin with what's going on, and also if you're still thinking about buying it, it will give you an idea of how it works and how powerful it is. So the Storeminator plugin for WordPress allows you to insert product comparison listings like the one you see here into your WordPress content. There's some fake WordPress content, and I don't much like this new WordPress 2017 template. It's rather narrow it's perhaps not ideal for Storeminator, but it gives you the idea. So what the Storeminator does is connects to various product data providers, specifically at the moment eBay, Amazon and Commission Junction. Gets data on a particular product, compares the prices, finds the lowest price from all of them, displays it up here as the featured item or the best deal, and below it'll tell you the other prices from other stores. So here we see that eBay has this wonderful KitchenAid food processor for just $50, and meanwhile some other stores, there's another eBay seller here. We don't have to show two products from eBay, but that's how we've got it set up. There's another eBay seller that's got it for $70, $69.99. Then we have an Amazon seller that's selling it for $70, and there's another Amazon seller further down selling it for $120. So you can see that's definitely not the best deal. But again, you can show multiple products just from Amazon if you want. You don't have to. And this one is a Commission Junction advertiser who also does not have the best deal by any means. And you can also have multiple products from multiple Commission Junction advertisers. As you probably know, Commission Junction has a variety of advertisers and you have to be signed up to each of their affiliate programs individually. So it's worth getting as many Commission Junction advertisers as possible, getting relationships with them so that you can list their products, especially in the niches that you're planning to work in. So that's how it works. Your visitor comes along and says, oh, the lowest price is on eBay US. We've targeted the US for this listing. We can do UK and some others as well, although US is the easiest to work with. And your visitor comes along and says, oh, the lowest price is on eBay, and clicks through and goes to eBay. They can click anywhere around here. And sure enough, they're taken right to eBay and they buy the thing they want, and you get the commission for the click. Now this is how it looks behind the scenes. Right, here's our lorem ipsum text. Here are the tags that we use to actually insert the listing. We've just put it up at the end of the paragraph here so that it will be displayed to the right of the text, and you can actually set in the display settings where you want it to be, whether you want it to float left, float right, float in the middle of your text. And there are a lot of other options as well relating to display. But the main thing is we put these tags in here, the Storeum tags. We put the keywords we want to search on. Is that an extra space? OCD kicking in there. We put the keywords in here that we're searching on, and these keywords can be used to search all the different product data providers in order to pull up data for that particular product. And then the Storeminator plugin does all the work of comparing the data, storing it, turning it into a nice comparison listing and putting it in your content. But further down, we don't just rely on keywords. Further down we have, on each page and post, you can insert listings both on pages and posts. We have this block of settings for that particular page, and here we can set various things. Some things related to display, how many items we want to show. Then there are some global settings for all of our providers that will apply to eBay, Amazon and CJ, specifically the minimum price. Also we can set a product code to search on, which will search all of those providers for a particular unique product code or universal product code that will get us very targeted results. More about that in the fine-tuning guide. And then below this we have individual settings for each of the plugins. The different advertisers or data sources are set up as plugins, and eventually we will be able to add more plugins if we want. So at the moment we have Commission Junction. There's the settings for Commission Junction. I've done some extra tweaks here with the keywords. Commission Junction's a bit funny. It needs a little bit of help finding the right results. Here we have the eBay settings. No real additional settings needed here for this listing. And here are the Amazon plugin settings, where obviously we set up some specific things related to Amazon. In particular, I've set up this so-called search index, which is basically like an Amazon top level product category. Set it to kitchen just to make sure we get good results, although to be honest we don't really need that, because the keywords which are related to a particular model number of food processor are very accurate, and they'll get the result we want anyway. So we have some quite detailed settings for each individual page and each individual listing, and you do need to spend a little bit of time setting up each individual page, but once it's working it should keep working and you don't have to really do anything with it. The page will refresh whenever a visitor comes. The data will actually be cached, so it won't keep hammering away and fetching all this data from the different providers every time your visitor comes, but only once every hour or so. Another thing just to mention here, on the left you'll see, when you install, you'll see a specific Storeminator tab with different settings. We have the global settings, which is mostly just your registration key. We have display settings, where we get to play with the look of the listing. We can change the colors, the borders, the width, different font sizes, and really make your listing stand out and look unique. Performance settings is quite handy. Leave this page because I've just been tinkering with something. Performance settings has got some technical stuff which you don't really need to mess with, and then in particular we have this debug mode, which throws up some useful messages. I don't want to call them errors, because you're always going to get little quirks coming up with this kind of thing, because it's not an exact science, product comparison. So from time to time your pages might not work the way you want, and you can come here and see why it's not working. For example, on one page the page might not be showing any data because the user's forgotten to specify a search index, and then you can go to that page and see why it's not working. You can change what's on the page and get it working. So this is a big help. That's the performance settings, and then we have individual global settings for each of the plugins, and I won't bother going in there. This is where you put in your access keys, your API keys for accessing the various providers. So that's basically a brief behind the scenes look at how the Storeminator works, but how to get it actually set up, well, that's for another video, the quick start guide, which you will find on the Storeminator website. I hope this has whetted your appetite and you can see how useful the Storeminator plugin could be for your website, and how professional the results look when you do just a little bit of tweaking. And well, the tweaking part will be in the next video and the fine-tuning video that comes after that, so I'll see you in there.